All right, Swift just tested XRP in silence. Wow. Why is no one watching this? Well, check this out. ISO 222. Why do we pay so much attention to this? Well, this is juicy. And if anything, let's watch it.
About the internet of value at Ripple, we're thinking much bigger than just cross-border payments. It's kind of like Amazon with rare books in the early days. Just this market happens to be a $10 trillion market.
We are at a historic turning point.
Said in the past that you are doing for money what email did for communication.
Moving the whole revolution forward.
There's trillions of dollars parked around the world.
RP.
Is there a possibility that Ripple could take over Swift one day?
Well,
I think we're all realizing we're in the midst of a technological revolution in the payment system. And if payments used to be sort of more plumbing, they're affecting the IO structure of financial services and monetary policy. And that's why central banks are there. We are seeing it: faster payments, smart contracts, e-money, crypto assets, stable coins, and etc. It consists of a bunch of APIs, and we will put a report out that gives the detail. But the important thing, it's the interoperability is not just between two currencies, as I mentioned. It can be extended. Challenges, and I'll stop here. AML issue, we haven't really dealt with that. It wasn't one of the issues in the project, but that will be an important issue going down the road in extending it. The important question down the road: who will build this hub if we do it globally? Who will build this hub if we do it globally? Is it going to be a consolidation of central banks, international bodies like IMF, BIS, private companies like Swift or others? So I'll stop here for now. He's like Swift or others. So I'll stop here for now.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Hours of Crypto. Let's get right into today's very bullish episode. I cannot believe my eyes. On March 1st, there was a major test conducted. We're going to cover that with some hardcore evidence you just cannot turn away from. And then on March 9th, Swift comes out and says, we have successfully tested CBDCs for, cross-border payments. How?
Let's jump a little bit further ahead. Hold on a second. Or you know what? Actually, we'll leave it right there. I was seeing that. I was trying to see if he was just going to go on a tangent about like an intro or like a brief intro, but he gets more into it. So let's play this a little bit more. Here we go.
Ironic. Welcome back to another episode. As you guys heard from that intro, Amir Yaron, Governor Bank of Israel, okay, he was talking about Project Icebreaker, which we are going to get into very briefly, and then we are going to cover the test that was conducted. He talks about we are at a technological revolution stage and the payment sector is going to drastically change. And then he does a mic drop moment and says, who will build this hub if we do it globally?
Who will build this hub if we do it globally?
Could it be international bodies like the IMF or the BIS or Swift or others? He looks at his paper twice. Like he was very stunned to see who was there and he didn't say it. It's pure speculation on that part. But this is not on a global stage. This Project Icebreaker, Project Stella, all the little projects that we've covered in the past, it's not on a global stage. And what they want is a level playing field with everybody. They're basically trying to make XRP the utility token for the new global economy, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Project Icebreaker explores a specific way to interlink retail CBDC systems, the hub and spoke solution, with several additional features that will allow the Icebreaker model to be readily scaled up. In addition, these features would promote simplicity and interoperability, reduce settlement risk, and foster competition and transparency for cross-border retail CBDC payments. Implementing the Icebreaker model in the real world would require a range of technology, policy, and legal consideration to be addressed. And Ripple, the company itself and its digital asset XRP, once all this is done, is going to have legal policy perfectly outlined for them. And their token, XRP, the utility token for the new world economy, is going to pave the way for
Let's pause that for a
trillions and
second.
trillions
Hold
that are
on.
going to be
I love
traded
that.
cross borders, folks.
Did you not
Policy
catch that? Hold on a second. Let's rewind that for just a second. Let's go back a bit. More. Can somebody chop that up? I mean, maybe I can do that. I mean, this is the stuff that we need to retweet. We need to get some of these things out there. So when we have slogans where it's quant, you know, interoperability at scale for 100 plus blockchains, so SDK for 15 plus SDKs, 3 lines of code, make it appealing for devs to come into their space and build, right? But when you see this, right, utility for the new global economy, and we also talk about XLM. I've said it many times, right, where I feel as though XLM is going to be, if you had to pick one, it's going to be the cryptocurrency of the world for like buying goods and services, the retail side of things, for every Joe Schmo, third world countries, you name it, right? That one right there, we should be, as an XRP army, taking that, not necessarily from the video, hitting the print screen or whatever and chopping it up, but things like that, chopping it up, getting it out there, boom, 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 retweeting it and so on. It's part of our own due diligence and so on, right? Like if we're trying to, people say we need more crypto adoption, we need to get the word out there. That's how you slowly get the word out there, right? And of course, we already understand a lot of people are already doing some things like that. But anyway, I just thought that was cool to see that utility for the new global economy. That that could basically be like the new bumper sticker, if you will, for XRP. All right, I'm gonna play a little bit more in regards to this. I'm just gonna leave right there. I'll play that particular part again. Thank you for joining us here tonight. Now at 4 hours for extended coverage of utility talk. Now that's on Mondays. Extended coverage of the Weekend Warriors, ISO 222, Crypto Talk Now, part of CTN Network. Extended coverage with myself, Max, and the rest of our community here tonight. Why am I making such a big deal about some of this stuff? Why are you guys making such a big deal about this and so on? People say, where does Max get the energy to do this and so on? You want to know why? He's very, very excited, just like you guys who are here tonight, because you know what the heck is coming here soon. We are not going to be slaves to the system anymore. If anything, we are embracing the new system that's rolling out here soon. We worked our butts off. I don't know about you. I mean, if you've been following me for a while, shoot, man, 3 jobs, technically 4 if you want to count the whole thing of being a caregiver of my dad. You guys have been, tell me they've been taking second jobs, working time and a half, sometimes working on the holidays, right? Earning double time, stuff like that. Why did we do all that? Because we know what's coming here soon, literally soon. This is why I want to do extended coverage with the community, be here for you guys and so on. This is what we're talking about. Yeah, there's meme token projects and all that stuff out there. If you can make some money, convert it in a power swap for quant XRP and all this, good. Do it. Not financial advice, but that's the way I look at it. Understand that we are here right now. We're recognizing what's going on. Let's play a little bit more about that. Smash the like button for extended coverage of Crypto Talk Now After Dark. Here we go. And shout out again to Mike Cornwell for the reporting.
Is going to pave the way for trillions and trillions that are going to be traded cross borders, folks. Policy considerations could include the governance arrangement, the viability of the business model, liquidity provision, privacy, AML, CFT, compliance, and monitoring. And SWIFT comes out on March 9th and says successful testing paves way for CBDC use cross-border. And then they go ahead and refer to Ethereum, Quorum, and Corda. But folks, look at this. On March 1st, number of transactions executed spiked drastically. And it's not like on March 9th when SWIFT released, saying they were successful. It's not like they did it on March 9th and they wrote the article. They do this, weeks in advance. multiple people. It goes to different departments. They read it over. Is it good to publish? Yes, it's good to publish. Okay, go do it. Okay, so this is just 9 days before. The last time it spiked like this, folks, we covered it. It was the liquidity hub exploration on the G20 roadmap. Remember that? It spiked up. I can't really get the peak right now because I would need to go more further, but it spiked. And I've covered this on a video. I'll leave the link in the description down below. Major spike. And the last time was the G20 exploring liquidity hubs. You can't make this stuff up. And then we have an average number of transactions per ledger spiked as well, okay, on March 1st. Offers to exchange currency spiked on March 1st. Hasn't before, okay, not at those levels. And successful payments spiked as well on March 1st. So, with that being said, what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments down below.
I'll tell you my thoughts. How
Could
about
it
this
be
real quick?
Swift
It is.
doing the tests?
Let's just hear this
Okay,
out.
could it be-
Just hold on. That's good stuff. I know you may think, dang it, Max, so you just get the good stuff. Just hear me out for a second. So if we are able, guys, to track this, like you see right here, on some of these tests, right? Successful payments, you better believe your sweet Aunt Mary or whoever you got in your family. I don't have a sweet Aunt Mary, but you get my point. That other people are going to, whether it's not necessarily this platform, other platforms, but they're going to test to see what kind of successful payments we have. But what's the key thing, guys? Going to test out the volume. So when we talk about, when this goes live, is something big going to happen on the 20th? Well, I think I'm gonna call it right now. A lot of the banks, for what we've seen, like there's a lot of things going to be closed apparently, and then they're going to switch this new system, and then like you saw some of the reports earlier, everything is like resumes back on the 21st, right? And I understand the whole thing with UTC time. By the time it happens over here, there might be a delay. There's different time zones and so on. But the key thing is, I bet you anything, Crypto Lulu will probably report, some of the volume that's going on. Some other content creators are going to talk about and so on. The whole point of this is this: recognizing, wow, guys, here's the taste of what kind of volume we're already starting to see. There's, especially Crypto Lulu. He does a great job. Like, remember when he did that report a while back, talking about like, oh man, there's this particular bank, and then there's this particular bank, and there's these few, and they're going to go live with ISO 222, such and such date, and so on. The whole point is this: the blanket of all of it is literally March 20th. That's the main key takeaway. And with that said, for everybody's like, oh, there's not going to be much utility going on. My whole thing is this: probably by the 21st, 2020, or the 22nd, this whole notion that XRP and some of these other ones, like, there's no movement, I just don't think that's the case. Because when you see people, whether it's Swift and so on, taking recordings, or this particular guy recognizing the successful payments and the spike in volume. How about this, guys? Ripple's on-demand liquidity. You want to talk about spike? How many times did I use the analogy, right? How many times I'll come back on the screen for just a second. I'll share that again. How many times did I mention for, I don't know, at least a good few months, that analogy of, literally picturing the Olympic-sized swimming pools. Are you with me still on this one? Especially if you're new. Olympic-sized swimming pools. We saw Ripple's XRP from 32-cent range up to 40 cents. I think that's the highest we saw it, right? So we saw it for that particular range, and we saw it trend sideways for probably like a while, right? Like at least over a year or more at that particular range. And people complain, strength of assets, and they're like, oh, ISO 222 is coming live soon. It ain't going to matter, Max, because it didn't move. Nothing big's happening and so on. Look at Cypherium, Max, that one really started to pump and so on. And of course, we did talk about that, right, in regards to the Federal Reserve with all that money that came in. That's a different story. But my point is recognizing Olympic-sized swimming pools. I'm going to say this again, and they're not being filled with that on-demand liquidity. You have little droplets. What are the droplets? The droplets, think about visually speaking, represent 32 to 40 cents. Why is that? That's the current value, because that's all that's coming out of it. Now you have people like this, and I'm going to share it again, where you have them monitoring some of the volume and seeing some of the things spike in here. And you see that reflected based off of what even with what Swift tested. Now, you get full implementation of all of this by what they say, November 2025. I think it's a lot more to it than just that, because you're going to see a perfect example. Again, picture those Olympic-sized swimming pools, picture the great big faucets. Now that on-demand liquidity for the first time is now somebody just turning it fully on. I know we talk about the flip of the switch, but in reality, I want you to picture literally liquidity, as in like water being filled into those pools. What are those pools? I don't know. Are they liquidity pools? No pun intended, but that's a good visual. And then so you're turning those faucets, and now all this stuff, not just from a little hose. Nah, Olympic-sized swimming pools have. Have you ever been there? I see it firsthand because when I lived in Portland, Oregon, I've seen these things. So you have great big faucets, and it's just gushing out. That's insane volume. Those are the central banks of the world taking advantage of these new technologies. So when you see a spike on this, watch out for maybe later on into next week where you see, oh my gosh, look at this. Look at these successful payments. Look at this volume. And that is where we talk about the utility run maybe starting to happen. The utility run that goes into a bull run. Like Kobe Bryant with the Lakers. You know, I'm a Blazer fan. I recognize Kobe was amazing. How many times he had crappy teams? And he put the whole team on his back. Yes, I feel as though we're the start of a bull run. But understand this. The utility run will put the entire darn crypto market on its back. Like Mike has stated, Mike Cornwall, the utility run don't give a crap about whether it's a crypto winner or a bull run market. The utility run is what gets all what we're looking for many, many months, or some of you guys have been in this in years, where we need to be. This is what keeps me up. This is what makes me want to keep going extended hours with crazy stuff. Oh, buddy's calling me, man, when you could come hang out and so on. No, man, I need to go get with my community and talk about this ISO 200. All right, whatever, bro. You know, okay, do your thing. I understand. You know, hey, you know what? This is what I'm passionate about. Yeah, you don't want to know why I'm passionate about it? Because I never had this type of opportunity in my entire lifetime, right? Think about all the people that you knew in your family that grew up in the I don't know, depending on how old you are. I mean, for me personally, my grandpa was born in 1905. My grandma was born in 1909. They lived through World War I and the Great Depression. Yeah, they passed away many years ago in the 90s and so on. Cancer took them both, unfortunately. But my point is, if they could have had some kind of opportunity like that back then, and look at where we're at now. Look at the jobs statistics out there and so on. Have you guys seen some of the problems that we have in our nation? Like, for instance, there's a whole grocery list, right? But how about this? You know, look at the days of like our parents. They could afford to buy like a home and stuff like that. And now with, you know, in the modern age, are kids going to be able to afford to buy a home, right? So there's statistics to show that 90% of that era was able to afford to buy homes and so on. So it's like, you look at everything with the world where it's going and so on, you're saying to yourself, oh my God, how are my kids or my grandkids going to afford to buy anything at all? We have to be that generation. I don't want to quote Dan Pena because I'm not a fan of him, to be honest. You know, I don't like his style. That's just me. But I'll give him credit on this. He has pointed out, like, you know, like, get off the freaking couch. Like, why didn't you research more of this stuff for the greatest generational shift in the history of not just finance and so on, but my God, there is something here. Thank God there's a group of people like yourselves and whatnot that we did spend many, many days and months and so on researching this stuff, because we understand how innovative this technology is. It is literally at the doorstep, and here's a taste of it. I'm gonna play some more. I went on a tangent with that, but that's just the way I feel about it. Like, we are setting up that generational wealth for our kids, their kids, and so on. I just hope to God at some point, where, you know, if we go like 2 or 3 generations deep, they recognize, you know, where's, hey, great grandpa Cornwell, or I don't know Jetpack's real name, but, you know, whatever the case be, you know, these guys are our heroes. You know what I mean? They set us up, you know, and they appreciate that. But let's face it, You never know what's going to happen. All right, play a little bit more on this. This is really good stuff. Really good video. Give Mike Cornwell some thanks for sharing this. Let's jump back into it. Swift just tested XRP and Science. Wow, why is nobody talking about it? Well, we're talking about it. We're recognizing it. And I want to say this. Shout out to 24 Hours Crypto. He's got close to 46,000 subs. Another person that has really did a good job of getting out the word. It's not just about our community, guys. It's communities uniting, recognizing each other, and so on. Give them a sub. I'm going to go ahead and do it right now. Boom. There you go. I advise you do the same thing. Here we go. We're going to play more of this. About 3 minutes left.
Be a body of organizations coming together and running these stress tests. But the last time this happened on this scale was the G20 roadmap when they were exploring liquidity bridges. Like, this is crazy. With these kind of evidence, you can't really lie about. And that is why the G20 roadmap about the liquidity testing, liquidity bridge testing went crazy. That video went crazy because those metrics, you can't lie. And when it adds up perfectly with the roadmap on the same month that they said they were going to explore liquidity bridges, they explored it. And then the XRP ledger metrics just spike. Those metrics you cannot mess around with. These are real accounting. That is why blockchain is going to change the way the banking system is going to work. They can't do the scams that they're doing right now, the Ponzi schemes. It's not sustainable when blockchain enters this market. Everything is out there. Bookkeeping, you cannot mess around. Okay? With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I do appreciate every single one of you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And if you guys haven't already, the XRP pennant with chain, the black one, is on 20.
All right. Yeah. I mean, you just got to give credit to where credit's due. I mean, he did a good job of, that's extended research. Always appreciate somebody like that. So shout out to 24 Hours Crypto. Give him a follow. He deserves it. He obviously has a big following. And I do see that we rebounded. We have over 40. I mean, you guys are awesome. Stay here for this. But what's the main key takeaway? Guys, we understand what's coming here soon.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you have not yet subscribed, do yourself a favor and subscribe for more information on the ISO 222 compliant tokens, and hit the notification bell to make sure that you are aware of the new videos when they come up. Max and I cover these ISOs, and we also have a live show every single night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you tune in for that. You won't want to miss it. Thanks again, and we will see you on the next video.